Okay, so this is like the 6th time I'm making this video. My name is Wildkard. Welcome back. I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna try just talk about the news. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen in many years. And you wonder why Australian rugby is running into the ground. They're doing it literally in front of our eyes. How do these people have a job? I do not know. I literally saw this when I was in the gym, and I rang Rugby Australia, and I told the reception to leave my phone number, my name, and to call me. Get someone to call me in Rugby Australia and explain this to me. So hopefully somebody calls me, because I honestly, beyond words, I'm concerned about the future of the Australian rugby. I'm baffled. I don't know what's going on. I'm extremely disappointed. Last time the rugby was played in Sydney was 2 years ago. I can't believe they putting this in Melbourne on a Thursday night. I'm not even even if I want to go Thursday night, I can't go. There's no way. Like, most people can't go travel interstate on a Thursday night. It's just unbelievable. I genuinely can't believe this. Who makes these decisions? The All Blacks is the most successful rugby team, the most successful sporting team in the history of the world. And you're telling me you can't sell enough tickets to have this game on a Saturday in Sydney to NRL and AFL. So their logic is to avoid the clash with AFL and NRL finals. So you're telling me you can't sell enough tickets in Sydney because of AFL and NRL finals, and this has to be moved to a Thursday night in Melbourne. Even if it's a Thursday, why can't it be in Brisbane? It'll still sell in Brisbane. It'll sell in Sydney. No, these morons puts it in Melbourne. And a lot of you guys might think, come on, it's just so you don't know how bad it is in Melbourne in terms of rugby viewership. Super Round was tremendous failure it's Super Round 2 weeks ago. Super Rugby, all the teams went to Melbourne. 5 games were played. 1 game was cancelled due to COVID. 5 games. 30,000 attendees over 3 days. And this was not on a Thursday night. This was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 30,000 attendees. And AFL sold out 70,000 at MCG on Sunday. So look at all these empty spaces. So Melbourne is the worst place for rugby. There's no fan base there. There's very small fan base there in Melbourne. To have the Bledisloe Cup there on a Thursday night, this is a catastrophe. This is a catastrophe. The absolute, I cannot fathom how they come to this decision. Who signed up on this? Honestly. And by the way, the reports from Super Round, 3 days, 6 teams, and the best players in the world, they didn't even sell merch. The most basic business for sporting events. They didn't even carry that out. Selling merch in sporting events. 3 days, didn't even sell merch. These people should I honestly, how do these people have a job? I honestly don't get it. I waited 2 years for Bledisloe Cup to come back to Sydney. It's going to Melbourne on a Thursday. I can't even go, even if I want to. Thursday night. I honestly, Rugby Australia, somebody call me. I left you my number. Call me. I want to know. How did you make this decision? It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I genuinely don't know how these people have a job. And if you think about this, right? If the All Blacks, if Super Rugby, let's put it this way, if the New Zealand Super Rugby teams went to Europe and played the Saracens or whatever, the Scarlets, for a 3-day event in England, the Twickenham would have been sold out 3 days straight. There were people packed outside the stadium wanting to watch these games. And in Melbourne, look at this. Melbourne. They decided to go to Melbourne. I honestly, like, I have never been so disappointed with Rugby Australia in my entire freaking life. I don't know what else to say. Super Rugby was pretty good on the weekend. There was really close games throughout the weekend. The Reds lost to the Chiefs. Really close. The Reds really lacked that little bit of polish without James O'Connor. 3 tries apiece, but it was the penalty goals, the kicking, really a little bit difficult for Crichton. Missed a couple of really important kicks, and that proved to be the difference in the end. 2 points, 25-27. Quite entertaining overall. Yeah. So, good news is James O'Connor is expected to come back against the Blues, so that'll be really good. He had a bit of a hamstring issue, so really good to see him back, and that'll give a really good boost for the Reds and the Wallabies. And then on the other game on the weekend, Western Force for the Blues. This was a really late game, even for Australia. This was like literally played at midnight for New Zealand time. So the Blues came out in a flurry, and maybe because of they scored 3 tries in 30 minutes, and maybe because of time difference, yeah, the Blues were not able to score any more points after the 30 minutes. So it was 22 points to 7 half-time, and the Blues were not able to score a single point in the second half. Was eventually able to hold off the Western Force for a really, really close finish. Once again, the kicking, the conversions proven to be the difference. The Western Force goal kicker, Kungzul, lacking a little bit. I thought it was a little bit weird towards the end. They had Ian Pryor on the field as a substitution, who has a pretty high kicking percentage. They still kept Kungzul kicking, who quite frankly missed a really, really important conversion. That would have seen the Western Force only 2 points behind the Blues. And yeah, the Blues defense held up. It was really, really good defense. Even if the Force was able to get that 2 points, getting a 3-point penalty at the end didn't seem like what's going to happen. The Blues was held out. I think there was some stupid amount of phases that they were held out. And yeah, still not giving away a single penalty. So really, really good effort by the Blues. Quite entertaining. And yeah. And then the next one, Endura versus Highlanders, first game in Fiji. This was a beautiful game to watch. This was a test rugby level game. Started off with a haka versus the Nabole to kick off the ceremonies. And again, super close game, 24-27. Comes down to penalty goal. And the game was just like so good discipline all around. 5 penalties, no yellow cards. Hello, really, really good. And the Fijians really kicked themselves up a gear with their kicking game. Good running game as usual, good hard hitting, and the crowd was going bananas. This was a beautiful game to watch. I had a lot of fun watching this. I think more games should be played in Fiji. It was quite a good atmosphere to behold. I was very, very happy with this game. And finally, the biggest upset in many years now. The Waratahs beat the Crusaders at home in Leichardt Oval. Again, the difference is a penalty, but the Crusaders really fell apart towards the end of the game. A red card and a yellow card in the last 20 minutes or 15 minutes or so of the game. But yeah, was barely able to. The Waratahs were barely able to hold on, but the Crusaders, yeah. This was, one of those performances. Crusaders actually going into this game rested a few of their key players, like Richie Mo'unga, Ethan Blackadder, and maybe that has something to do with it. The Waratahs did have dominance on the breakdown, and the Crusaders did look a little bit flat in their attacking options. So yeah, maybe that did hurt them a little bit. But man, this is a historical win for the Waratahs. Edmund played really well. And number 10, the young guy coming up the ranks, really showed a lot of promise. And overall, I thought the Waratahs was, historic. Huge return from not winning a single game last year to beating the Crusaders this year. No matter what you say, no matter what, shuffling and, you have, players resting you have, still, what a huge return. I was extremely happy with this game. The referee in this game was a little bit inconsistent, Ben O'Keefe. So this guy, number 19, Hamish Dalzell, he actually had another high shot 3 minutes before taking out Hooper. He literally takes out Hooper with a shoulder charge to the head. He had another high shot on Edmund, but the referee deemed that there was mitigating factors, and despite the fact that nowadays any head contact is at least a yellow card, the referee did not give a yellow. And also, not only that he didn't give a yellow, he didn't even give a penalty for a headshot. He's saying that there was mitigating factors. So then 3 minutes later, this guy puts a high shot shoulder charge blatantly on Michael Hooper, knocks him out, takes him out of the game, gets a red card. I thought this was really poor referee. That's something that you don't want to see. The guy should have been sent off with a yellow 3 minutes earlier. He gets another chance to take out another player due to his poor tackling techniques. Yeah, so this was pretty bad. And also the Waratahs Waratahs beat the Crusaders, and there was a lot of fanfare came out. So Leichhardt Oval looked quite packed. People standing on the sidelines, was looking like such a good atmosphere, and just a shame. This is all the good work that the player has contributed is not backed up by Rugby Australia. And then later that evening on Saturday night, Rebels play Moana Pacifica. This game, once again, the Moana Pacifica, their discipline hurt them a lot. There was a lot of penalties given away and a lot of small errors and drop balls throughout the game. And the Rebels were able to, I wouldn't say comfortably win, but the Rebels were able to have a pretty firm grip on the game throughout, despite the late try for the Moana Pacifica coming back. But Melbourne had a pretty firm grip throughout the game. 4 tries to 3, 26 points, 22. And Christian Lealefano gets a bit of a head knock at the end. And it looked a bit nasty. Hopefully he's okay. Anyway, next one, the final game of the week. Brumbies convincingly beat the Hurricanes at home. This was one of those games where the Hurricanes made way too many mistakes. Way too many small mistakes when they had the opportunity. So many drop balls from the Hurricanes. With so many All Blacks players in the team, I did not expect that. The Brumbies basically was able to piggyback on a lot of these Hurricanes mistakes. And quite an easy and comfortable win. 42 points to 25. Don't know what else to say about this one. Nick Barry had a few really weird decisions for this game. There was a try that was given that technically they haven't got vision of the try being given. The Nick Barry just kind of like concluded that it was a try based on... Anyway, there was some really weird decisions. Logically flawed decisions by Nick Barry on the field. Really should probably lift that up. But then again, I don't blame Nick Barry for anything now. Rugby Australia is failing so badly. Nick Barry is probably not getting any training opportunities off the field anyway. So it really isn't Nick's fault, to be honest. Now let's finish up with some South African news. So Rassie Erasmus, he had a bit of a talk about his 3-point plans for the Springboks. For the save rugby. He has a lot of talks. He's actually talking about having some radical stuff like 2 referees on the field, and he thinks that the breakdown is a bit too complicated, and I will also say like the more is a little bit complicated as well. But I thought it's probably more than just having the referees being there to make the right decisions, but I thought maybe having the commentators giving a better explanation to the fans will also help a lot. Like this. Scrummaging experts as scrummaging referees. He talks about, he really likes to, I feel like it's not just about like scrummaging referees. I feel like it's more about the way the sport is presented to the audience. That makes it easier to understand probably. And just having more referees probably not serve anything. I felt like maybe we just confused the issue on the field a bit more. But there are yeah, but there are but I think they should be explained as well. So yeah, like I said, again, expanding the scrum is a thing, linking some TV commentary, and also reduce the scrum timeout with the shot clock, something that I think has been talked about quite a lot. And then there's also like just overall, he talks about basically speeding up the game when it comes to like goal kicking as well. Just really overall making the game more like friendly to the fans, more viewable, more fluid, and to see more ball in play. That's kind of like the overall gist of it. If you want to look, I think I agree with a lot of his decisions. I do think that it's probably not about having more referees on the field. I think it's about having better commentary to explain things to the fans, and yes, having a shot clock, speeding up the game really helps. Like the kicker does not need a minute to kick a goal. I think 30 seconds, put them under a bit of pressure, makes it more entertaining. 30 seconds to kick the goal. Scrum, you have 30 seconds for engagement, not 30 seconds to walk there to the scrum. It's taking way too long to set up the scrum. So having those changes, I really do agree, will make the game a lot better for everyone. But yeah, Razzie Erasmus, the savior of rugby, and also the Springbok centre, Lukam is set to return to South Africa. So this will be probably going back to the Sharks, which is really good news for the South Africans. And finally, the biggest news from the South Africa. South Africa signs a impending private equity deal with CVC, and this will give the South African rugby a massive injection of cash, and hopefully similar to the deal that I guess it's been done with the All Blacks. They come in with some money and then with some ideas of how to develop the game. They already own the Six Nations, a part of the stakes in Six Nations, Premiership and URC. So they also had, it's all about integrating the Springboks into that system, giving that platform, giving them that money that desperately needed to help the game grow further in South Africa. Yeah, so that's a big news as well out of South Africa. Anyway, guys, that's the news today. I'm pretty deflated today. I'm gonna go lay down and digest what happened with Rugby Australia today. I'm a bit, Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you being here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps me a lot if you can subscribe with the algorithm. Have a good weekend, good week, and I'll see you this weekend for Super Rugby reviews. Cheers.